Hello and welcome to the Martignetti Company's Wine Education Series. I'm Brad Fichter, Corporate Wine Educator, and in this session we will learn the necessary steps for restaurant wine service. Executing this process with confidence will help establish a trusting relationship between you and your guests, and will hopefully lead to some return visits. Remember, practice makes perfect. Prior to approaching the table, there are some important things that you should consider in an effort to tailor your service to each specific table and to boost sales. First, it's important to locate the host, or a person willing to be the decision maker regarding the wine selection. Once identified, this guest will be your point person for choosing the wine and for approving the wine once it's ordered. Next, if you haven't already been informed, you'll want to see if there's a special occasion, as this gives you an opportunity to suggest a celebratory beverage, like champagne for instance. If the group is celebrating, there might be a guest of honor where you want to focus some extra attention. If wine is ordered, this will be the person that you serve first, regardless of where they're sitting in relation to the host. Other considerations you may want to have at the ready could include a particular wine that the restaurant has prioritized as a focus or special. These are wines that may have greater profitability that will benefit both you and the establishment, and if this is the case, you might want to include it in your opening conversation with the group. Once the host has been identified, offer them the wine list and include any description that may entice them to look through it. Many restaurants have a standard greeting, but take this early opportunity to highlight the quality of the wine selection. Once the host has chosen a bottle of wine for the group to enjoy with their dinner, confirm the bin number, if applicable, the producer, region, varietal, and vintage. If you work with an extensive list with varying price points, it can be helpful to non-verbally confirm the price by sliding your finger to the dollar amount on the list. This will help avoid any pricing dispute at the end of the meal. Retrieve the bottle from the cellar, double checking that it is the correct wine, the correct vintage, and that the bottle is at the proper serving temperature. Place the correct, properly polished glassware to the guest's right. Generally, the best location is diagonally up and to the left of the water glass. The glass should always be held by the stem, as touching the bowl will leave smudges on the freshly polished glass. Present the bottle to the host and again confirm it's correct by pointing out the bin number if necessary, the producer, region, varietal, and vintage. If approved, proceed with opening the bottle. If you haven't already, check out my other video entitled How to Properly Open a Bottle of Wine for step-by-step directions on how to open wine in a restaurant setting. Once you've removed the cork, place it to the right of the host for inspection. With the label facing the guest, pour a 1 to 2 ounce tasting for the host so the wine can be assessed for potential faults. If approved, continue to pour for the remaining guests. A proper pour would fill up the glass between 1/4 and 1/3, allowing the guest plenty of room to swirl and enjoy the wine's aromatics. Some restaurants have a policy to serve ladies first, and though this is consistent with traditional service models, modern standards increasingly emphasize equality over gender preference. Begin with the guest directly to the host's left and move clockwise around the table, always pouring for the host last. If the entire service team moves in a clockwise direction around the tables, it will prevent you from bumping into your colleagues. If it's a special occasion and there's a guest of honor at the table, pour for that person first and continue moving clockwise, again pouring for the host last. It's important to remember that a standard bottle of wine has 25.4 ounces, so be sure not to overpour in a way that would leave a guest short, or even worse, without any wine. It's always easier to underpour and top off if necessary. When topping off glasses, be sure not to do so too frequently, as it may disrupt the experience at the table. It may seem like a lot of steps, but with enough practice, this process will become second nature.